In the 1960s and 70s, computers were still relatively new, and computer memory was expensive. As a result, programmers needed to conserve memory wherever possible. One way to do this was to represent years using 2 digits rather than 4. For example, the year 1980 would be stored in memory as simply 80. This made sense at the time because the programs were only intended to last for a few years, and it was assumed that by the time the year 2000 rolled around, the programs would have long since been replaced. However, as the 1990s approached, it became clear that the year 2000 problem, also known as the Millennium bug, or Y2K bug, was going to be a serious issue. Many programs would simply assume that the year began with 19, so when the year changed to 2000, the programs would see 00 instead of 2000 and would be unable to interpret the year correctly. This could potentially cause all sorts of problems, from minor glitches to major system failures. At first, many people dismissed the Y2K bug as a minor concern, assuming that the issue would be fixed before it became a problem. However, as the year 2000 drew closer, it became clear that the problem was much more widespread than anyone had initially realized. Many systems that were considered critical, such as air traffic control systems, financial systems, and even nuclear power plants, were found to be vulnerable to the Y2K bug. In response to the growing concern, governments and businesses around the world began investing heavily in efforts to address the problem. IT departments worked tirelessly to identify and fix potential Y2K issues in their systems, often at great expense. In some cases, entire computer systems had to be replaced or upgraded in order to ensure that they were Y2K compliant. Despite the massive effort to address the Y2K bug, there was still a great deal of anxiety and uncertainty as the year 2000 approached. Many people feared that there would be widespread system failures, leading to chaos and even societal collapse. However, when the clocks struck midnight on January 1, 2000, the world breathed a collective sigh of relief. Despite a few minor glitches, the Y2K bug had been largely averted, and life went on as usual. In the years since the Y2K bug, many people have criticized the massive effort to address the problem, arguing that it was overblown and unnecessary. However, others argue that the Y2K bug was a very real threat, and that the investments made to address it were necessary to ensure that critical systems continued to function properly. Regardless of one's opinion, there is no denying that the Y2K bug was a significant event in the history of computing, and one that had a major impact on the way we think about software development and system maintenance.